Hey everyone, so the biggest point in this video I want to get across is the ability to use BrewToad to share our recipes as a BrewTubing community online. There's a couple different ways to do that where, similar to Google+, you have the capability to follow others, and you also have the capability to become part of a group, and then all of the group activities you get consolidated and view inside your community stream. So on BrewToad, I'm logged in. You can see I'm up here, and by default it shows like some featured recipes and things like that. This video is not about BrewToad. It's not about BeerSmith. It's just about showing how we as a community can use these two tools in order to share recipes up on BrewToad and then also bring them down onto our computers and work with them locally for our tailored specifications. So I'm logged in, and basically what I want to show you is a couple different things. I've got my profile, and I'll go look at that. And while I'm here, you can see I'm actually a member of a group. There's a Brewtubers group here on BrewToad. So Brewtubers is here, and that's one way to do it. If you go to the main website, there's a section here called Groups. If you click on that, and once that page opens up for the group section, you'll see there's 67 groups, and Brewtubers starts with the B, so it's pretty close to the top. Here we go, Brewtubers. So you click on there, you can see there's 4 members already, and you can go ahead and subscribe or become a member of that group. It allows us to be able to see the activity that each other's doing on BrewToad, so that anytime we make a recipe public, we can go ahead and see that and see each other's recipe. I think that's kind of cool. Another way to work with this is, for example, if I go back to my profile, I can take a look at the list of my followers. I'll say, okay, I'm following a few people, and here's a list of followers, just like on Google+. And then let's see, I know that there's a lot of Brewtubers here. ShadowBeastBrewery, for example. He's got 0 recipes, so I want to be able to be notified, or at least see when he finally does make a recipe. So I'll come up to his profile page, and I'll click on follow. And that's it. That's pretty much all I need to do. So now anytime somebody that I'm following, or is a member of a group that I'm a member of, I'll see their activity in my profile community stream. If I see that up here, here's underneath activity, and I can basically see what's going on here. Right? That's kind of cool. Now, another thing I want to talk about is sharing the recipes. So this is pretty cool because you don't have to log into the site in order to see someone else's recipe. So all the recipes that I've ever made or made videos of, I've always made a link to them in the more info section on YouTube. Down here you can kind of see what I'm working on, a couple different smash ideas for the UK competition next spring. If I come down here a little bit, all kinds of recipes, some that I've made like the coconut IPA, some that I haven't yet like the Bell's Two Hearted. So let's say I want to go ahead and work with and tweak the Bell's Two Hearted ale recipe inside BeerSmith. The way that I do that is go to the recipe, and then there's this more link, and I'll choose export. Now that gives me the beer markup language here written in XML of all of the specifications that make up that recipe. What I want to basically do is right click in the address bar and choose copy, because I want to copy the address to this XML file. This is like the database file for that recipe inside BrewToad. So then I'll open up BeerSmith, and I want to import that in here so I can work with it here inside my favorite beer application. So I'll choose File, Open File, and I'll paste in that URL inside the file name box. And BeerSmith is smart enough to know that if I choose that, choose Open, it will go out and grab that from the website and then load that up here inside BeerSmith. If you look, you'll see it actually creates like a temporary file on my operating system. It copies it, downloads it, puts it into a temporary directory that I don't know anything about, and then shows it here inside the application. Now if I want to make this part of my database for BeerSmith, then I'll go ahead and just drag it into one of the folders that I want to work with. So here's home ales. These are the ones I've brewed. So I click there, and now I see Bell's Two Hearted Ale. Now it's part of my BeerSmith installation. So I can go ahead and double click and start working with this recipe. Now right off the bat, you might see some things that are not exactly the way they should be. For example, Carapils, the actual name specifies some Chinese or Japanese characters here, and that's not exactly what I want. There are a couple different ways to work with that. One is that I could double click on it to open it and just modify the name here. But I can also check the potential and the yield percentages, 1033, 7126, and verify that against the ones that BeerSmith uses. So what I can do is close that, keep it highlighted, and choose this button over here called Substitute. And then over here I can just type in Cara, and then here's Carapils as the first one. If I double click on it here, it'll go ahead and automatically replace it. There's another couple things that are a little bit off. Here you can see the grams for the hops that came in. These values are slightly skewed. Now I know that inside BrewToad the grams was actually 31.18. So it obviously made a mistake with the decimal points. So I can come in here and just sort of fix that. So I know it was 18, so just fix the value. Same here, 31.18. I could copy that since that's the same as it is in the other ones. Right here. Just paste that in. Great. Same down here. Okay, so now that looks right. Again, if I want to replace any of the values that it puts in here for me, like the Vienna malt, this is kind of where I was going with the Carapils example. Here's the potential of 1036, the yield of 77.74. Now I can check that inside BeerSmith's database and see what it has for a Vienna malt. Or maybe I have like another brand of Vienna malt that BrewToad didn't have, but I know BrewSmith has. So I can also, I'll choose substitute on that one. I'll start typing in Vienna. I'll see the Vienna malts. What I want to do is basically check the potentials here. So I can see this is 1036. If the potentials are different, then you can go ahead and select the one that's inside BrewSmith and just substitute it. Otherwise you can leave it by default. So I hope this sort of shows you how easy it is in order to work with BrewToad to share your recipes with the rest of the community, but also to be able to export them and work with them locally on your computers in your favorite BeerSmith application. So yeah, I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.